Hello scrappers and planet lovers, Tin Man here with another video. So today what I want to do is take a look at these electric scooters. You can find them sometimes on garbage day. These three I have behind me. Two of them I actually found in a garbage dumpster. One of them on curbside at a house. So they are out there and they are an excellent source of scrappable material. Most of this is going to be a tin or steel shell. There is going to be a nice battery inside, some copper, and very easy to take apart. However, before you do take them apart, you do want to check to see if they work. I have found a few that I have just had to do minor repairs, change the battery, and I've been able to sell them for a lot more in good workable condition. So that is the rule with any type of item you find. Check to see if it works first, because you are going to make more from good working condition or donating them for sure to different places like St. Vincent de Paul or Goodwill. But again, these three, unfortunately, I cannot fix. They are broken down, worn out, so I'm going to take them apart. Even the wheels here, I'm not going to be able to use them. The treads are very worn, but I can recycle these at places like Cal Tire, drop off any type of tire. The rim I do have to remove. I will throw that into my steel. And I'm not, for the sake of this video, going to remove the tire from the rim. I do have separate videos showing you how to remove rims from cars and different tires. And I will include the link to that video in my description. But this whole thing, if I put a magnet to it, you can see this magnet is sticking to all of this body here. Lots of parts. The neck here for sure. Even the cables that go up to the handle do stick to this as well. So a lot of tin or steel here. And I do want to begin just by saying, when I refer to tin, shred, or steel, I have had a lot of comments from people. These are just categories at a scrapyard. Tin or shred is any type of magnetic material that is thinner than a 1/4 inch. Steel is any type of magnetic material that is thicker than a 1/4 inch. So there are a couple pieces like these bars that could be steel. They're about 2 cents more than tin. Tin right now going for about 10 to 13 cents a pound in London, Ontario. A lot of this neck will be steel, so get about 12 to 15 cents a pound for this. But because a lot of my material is going to be tin, all of your outer panels from appliances, electronics, those are very thin. That is all going to be tin shred. So just for small little items like this, I'm not going to drive to a different part in the scrapyard just for a little bit of extra money. I throw it all in as tin shred, but that's what I refer to here. The plate on the top here actually is not magnetic. I have already removed the screws. I have them here on my magnet. These I actually just throw into a bucket. I will also get tin price for these. So the nice thing about any types of screws, bolts, I don't have to buy any anymore. I find them all the time from scrapping in good workable condition. So the good ones I will save and use again, but some of them that are rusted and all that, like you can see, I throw them away. The top panel here does have plastic on the bottom. However, the faceplate here, this is actually a sheet of aluminum. Some people would look at that and wonder, is it stainless steel or aluminum? The easiest way to test is the grinder test or the spark test. If I was to hit this with a grinder and it sparked, it's going to be stainless steel. Because this is aluminum, I could hit this with a grinder. It doesn't spark, so it is aluminum. And I do have to peel it off. It is crimped, you can see on the plastic, just to see if I can put a quick pry bar underneath it to see if I can pry it up. Gonna put a couple safety glasses on for sure, but very easy to do. You can see, look at that. So this plastic is gonna be recyclable, but that is, as I said, a nice piece of sheet. Gonna do the spark test to show you if it is aluminum or not. So no sparks. This is clean aluminum, and this is actually going to give me about 45 to 50 cents a pound. This piece of plastic, I'm actually going to throw right into my recycle bin. So that is great. Don't have to throw that in the garbage. But once I turn this over, here are the batteries. There is a copper motor here. So I'm going to start with these batteries. There are a couple screws that I have to remove. First, just a little case covering to keep the batteries in place. So just doing that right now. Again, screws, great item. Do find a lot of them. Do want to make sure that you put them in a container so it's easy to transport and safe. Last thing I want to see is them falling out at the scrapyard and puncturing a tire. But a little piece of tin here again. Gonna just throw that into my steel pile or tin pile. 2 batteries. Gonna pull these out. The case or the cup holder here, if you will. But the battery, I had one in my hand. There it is. There's a couple connectors to it. Just gonna cut this cord first just to get to it. But this battery, there are 2 of them. So I'm gonna pull the other one out as well. I just misplaced my pry bar. There it is underneath. So I gotta get that. So there are 2 batteries in this one. Gonna pull them both out. And these batteries, in a second, I'll show you very quickly. This one is very dusty, you can see. This one, put up to the camera. These are your lead-based batteries. You can see the PB on the bottom there. It says, please don't throw in the garbage. These are actually worth some good money at the scrapyard. I just brought a whole bunch of little ones in like this. Places that you'll find little ones like this are obviously scooters, backup power supply boxes. These are actually going for London, Ontario, 25 cents a pound. So a good price. I will put final weights on the comment section for this breakdown of all of my metals, but I'm going to easily say here about 8 to 10 pounds. And again, they pay per poundage. You do want to check with batteries how to separate them. There are different categories at a scrapyard. You have your household batteries, your lead-based batteries, your car, boat, truck, lawnmower. They do have different ways that they pay it. These smaller ones are paid by poundage. However, your large car batteries, for example, and your truck ones, I just brought them in and they give you a base price for it. Right now, about $8.75 a pound for the battery. So not a great price, definitely better than going to the landfill for sure, but these ones are paid by poundage. Your household batteries like your D's, your C's, your A's, they're actually giving now 10 cents a pound in London, Ontario at the scrapyard I go to. Currently just went to 10 cents. They were actually about 3 months ago giving you nothing, just free of charge, recycling them. And I'm not sure now if they're doing that because of competition. So they are now giving you monetary value. Your lithium or your ion batteries from different power tools, some scrapyards will take them for monetary value. Some won't even take them at all. So you do want to check. And again, I will also include another video on batteries, separating them, sorting them. I will put that link in my description as well. But again, 2 really nice lead-based batteries. Want to make sure that I bring these in. For sure, keep them out of the landfill and the water system. So nice batteries here. There is tons of different cables in here that I have, and I want to try and unscrew this, but there is right here lots of different panels and circuit boards. So just going to pull this right out, this box. There is a button that has to be removed, slid through, but this is really essentially the power system that goes to it. Here we go, it's coming up right now. Had to get it out of the hole, but there it is. I'm just gonna hit this, actually knock it out with a hammer, because there we go. Last little screw connector. Oh, there it is right there. I should have looked. So 2 wires that are going up the neck. They are going to be worth some good scrap value as well. Let me just turn this. Okay, so lots of different power supply lines that are going to it. Look at all that nice copper wire inside of here. If I turn it to the camera, all of this wire here is going to be classified as 60% appliance wire. Right now going for $2.44 a pound. And I do want to show this piece right here. If I was to bring this in, however, I am going to get downgraded because of this large piece of plastic. So this as is would be classified as actually lower grade. You're 40%, and that's currently going for $1.55 a pound, or $1.45 a pound, sorry. So one way to upgrade, very simple. I'm just going to use a pair of side cutters, cut this piece off. Now this wire doesn't have the plastic on anymore. This is your higher value, again, $2.44 a pound for this appliance wire. This side, gonna do the same thing. And inside of here, there are some really nice brass connectors. I am currently doing an experiment right now to see if it is worth taking the brass off the plastic. Brass right now going for $3.15 a pound. This right here is worth scrap value. This as is actually worth about 19 cents a pound. And I do have a large bag of them right here that I've been taking off. Great way to upgrade that wire for sure. And again, this is still 19 cents a pound. So I am in the middle of an experiment to see if it's worth bringing them in as is or taking the time to remove the brass. So stay tuned for that. But again, that is a great trick to upgrade that wire. Okay, there is tons of it in here. There are a lot of on and off switches. There is a battery pack in here. Again, just this knob here, this on and off switch, has some beautiful brass that you see there. So I do knock those out. I will take that. I do want to get this little power supply box here. There are a couple screws, so I'm just going to remove these screws to get that out. And other than that, this actually, even though this bin here is plastic, I can actually reuse it again. I'm always looking for containers to hold different items when I'm scrapping. Sometimes they could even be used as a catch basin for different liquids, but this is actually going to be a good storage unit once I use it, so I don't have to throw it in the recycling or the garbage. But this power supply box right here, just going to finish taking off some of the prongs. Okay, but very easy to do. A lot of wire that connects through here, so I am going to have to, after this video, go through again, get out those connectors. All of your on and off switches always have nice connectors on them, as well as this little outlet here. This outer ring is going to be brass. There is going to be some brass connectors you can see on that. But right here, this power supply box, it does have some copper inside of it. Going to open it actually right now to show you. Get these screws off of there. Okay, but just going to actually hit this with a hammer just to break that plastic. I actually have just done a video on power supply boxes. I was told they're called wall warts, which is a really cool name for them. But I'm just going to break this, show you inside. There are right there 2 actual relay boxes. These are going to contain a small spool of copper inside, as well as a small dot of silver in each. The rest of this, once I cut all this wire off, the rest of this green board I'm going to throw into e-waste, so 5 cents a pound for that. But these do open these relay boxes for sure, just to show you what one of them could look like inside. Here's an example of a prong inside of it. So that little dot does have a little speck. That speck is silver. Sometimes your prongs like this are going to be brass, sometimes copper. So you do want to make sure you open them. But again, some really nice items here. The back thing, the last thing I want to look at is this actual motor here. There is a little copper. Hopefully it is it's probably going to be an armature, but the chain I don't even have to remove. But I'm going to just get these screws. The rest of this frame is actually going to be thrown right in to my scrap steel. I do, as I mentioned, want to make sure I get all of this wire that goes up. Again, this is 60% appliance wire. So just to show you, there are a couple zip ties, but following this up, there it is, going to go right to the handle. The handle, you're going to have a little bit of gears inside, but I'm just going to cut this to show you. Look at that. There is, right inside of that, some really nice copper. And this is, if I look at it, these are, unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, because it's all worth money, but just cutting the side of it, it is not pure copper inside of it. You can see right there, that is a red cable. So because this has an outer coating of plastic, inside are a few copper wrapped wires. This is going to be actually 40% appliance wire. So the rule always stands, more than one wrapping of plastic going to be the 40%. But no matter, still a nice heavy piece and $1.45 a pound. I'm not going to complain. So it does go all the way up. But this copper motor here, last item I want to pull off of here. And if this chain is loose, sometimes you do have to be careful with chains. You know, garage door openers, for example, if the tension is really, really hard or high, you can, if you try and cut it off, you are going to get a bad spring back from it. So you definitely have to be careful with this. This one is loose, but there is my copper motor. Just going to open this. It looks like on the outside, that covering is cast aluminum. Right now, cast aluminum in London, Ontario is going for 75 cents a pound. I just brought in my load of barbecues. I had 24 cast aluminum barbecues that I've been saving up. I had 785 pounds of barbecues that I brought in. And I got, as I said, 75 cents a pound. I have very, very few times in my scrapping life seen 75 cents a pound for cast aluminum. Usually it hovers around 56 cents a pound. So I was very happy to bring it in. Inside of here, as I said, non-magnetic. Both sides of this is cast aluminum. No, sorry. This is going to be what we classify as zinc cast. Sorry. The difference between zinc cast, I've had several people. If I take this up, you can see inside of it almost has like a rainbow effect. If I was to put a drop of oil in a puddle, this is actually zinc cast, and this actually is going for about 45 cents a pound. All of your casings for different motors that you have for like washing machines, dryers, different smaller ones that have that casing, that's all zinc cast. But again, 45 cents a pound for that. It isn't heavy. This is very light, but it does add up. I have a huge bag of it ready to go. So zinc cast on both sides. Inside of that, here is a really nice armature. Look at that, it's got some brass right here on the side again. This armature, I am going to open this up. I just have a video that I released a little while ago on opening armatures. Are they worth it or not? They are very easy to do. And the nice thing about all armatures is they are always going to be copper. I've had several of my fellow scrappers say that they don't pick up vacuum cleaners anymore, for example, because the motors are now aluminum winding instead of copper. Yes, that might be true for the outer windings, but inside the armatures are always copper. And this copper right now is going to be classified as number 2 copper and going right now for $4.30 a pound in London, Ontario. This one I am going to open because I can see the sprocket holes right there are very large, so it's easy to get that copper out. And I will include the breakdown video to show you how to do it. Very easy to remove these ones, which ones not to do as well. So I will include the link to that. But again, some really nice number 2 copper in here. The rest of this shell is going to be tin. This is going to be, as I said, zinc. Here again is going to be some of my, here's an easier look. There's the 2 spools inside. And I could actually, for this one, just remove the sheath. This I'm going to cut right from here to here, upgrade that. So there are ways to do it. It does depend on time, but because this is thicker wire, I will actually take this outer sheath off to upgrade this. So for me, it does depend on the thickness of the wire. Some of my scrappers say that they strip everything. So you do have to put into effect your time, your effort, how much scrap you have available. But just gonna see if I can remove this nut there. There we go. Just comes off. So again, there we go, another nut that I have to the pile. Just be able to slide this off. Look at that. So there it is. There's my armature. Gonna probably have to hit that with a punch to get it through. But some nice brass for sure there. Some easily right there. Some nice number 2 copper. And that crown is also copper. It's got a rubber underneath it, but that can be also broken to give you number 2 copper. So beautiful motor there. The rest of this, as mentioned, you can see magnet to it. All of this, I will take the wheels off to recycle them. If I was to bring this actually into the scrapyard as is, I will actually not get penalized. I've been able to throw these in to my tin pile without any noise or complaints. But because I like to recycle as well, I will take the opportunity and recycle these free. I will take them into the right place. But again, the rest of this is going to be a tin shell or steel shell, if you will. Amazing how easy that is. Again, the handle does have a small little gear to it. I'm gonna just open this, see what I can find very quickly, but a lot of cables that are gonna go to this. Might take a little bit of time off camera to open this properly to see what's in it. There's the case, so I will have to probably cut this rubber handle off, but this is now open. Okay, so there are a few wires you can see in there, but again, not much or worth my time here. I'm just gonna cut the cable here and leave this on, get the weight for this handle here. But the rest of this shell, as mentioned, would be steel because it is gonna be thicker than a 1/4 inch, but I'm doubting that I'm gonna have a truckload of steel when I'm finished. I'm gonna have mostly tin, so I'm just gonna throw it all into one truckload. So again, very easy to take apart, some nice copper, tons of steel, a few batteries that I have here, making sure that these stay out of the landfill and there is monetary value for these. And if not, you can drop them off at different recycle depots. We want to make sure we keep them, environmentally friendly as best as possible, and they don't seep out into our environment. Again, a lot of different wire that you have. This is your 60%. Check to see with the rule. Again, doing the experiment to see about the plastic here. Some nice copper in here and some silver. Nice circuit board for sure, as well as a little bit of sheet aluminum going for 45 to 50 cents a pound, and a little bit of plastic for recycling. So hope you enjoyed that. Very easy to take apart, very quick. You can find them. Do check to see if they work. As well, sometimes you can remove parts off these to put onto other ones if they are in good workable condition. So hope you enjoyed that. Again, please comment down below, like, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Tin Man out.